Time to get dressed. Time to throw it on. Throw it on. Yo, look, I bought this book, 2 days ago. I'm already halfway through it. I've been up. I read most of that, half of that, almost all last night. I'm already through the first whole chapter of this book and halfway through that other book. And I just bought them books. I literally do not even turn the TV on. Like, dead serious. Like, I really don't. But it's time for the king to go embrace the people with his presence. Live like a king, think like a king, act like a king, you be a king. You might be a king within your own mind, but as above, so below, as within, so without. So what you feel within reflects what happens without. What you do in the private affects how you're portrayed in the public. So only you know what goes on in the private, you know? So people portray a whole one way in the public, but when it's just them by themselves, they a whole nother thing. Reality shit. If you wash your hands in the public after you go to the bathroom, wash your hands in the private after you go to the bathroom. Because guess what? That's consciously who you are in character. A lot of people, they put on another character because it's eyes on them, you know. They're being perceived a certain way, so, you know, they play the role like they in Hollywood, you know. They become the character. They become, you know, the actor, you know. You don't want to be an actor. An actor is a faker, you know. You want to be very realistic. You want to be real with yourself so you could be real with others, you know. And that's what this Gnostic gospel teaches you. It says when the two become one, that's where all the power lies. When the two become one. As above, so below, as within, so without. And look, it's crazy how that says that. But when you go into these Hermes tablets, it says, hold on. It goes right here. It says, the truth certainly, truest without untruth. What is above is like what is below. What is below is like what is above. The miracles of unity is to be obtained. Everything is formed from the contemplation of unity, and all things come about from unity by means of adaptation. Its parents, the sun and the moon. It was born by the wind, the ether, the breath of life, and nurtured by the earth. Every wonder is from it, and its power is complete. Throw it upon the earth, and earth will separate from fire, the impalpable, and separate it from the palatable. So the agreeable from the disagreeable is what it's saying. It says, through wisdom it rises slowly from the world to heaven. Then it descends to the world, combined in the powers of the upper and the lower. So the macro prosophis is above, the micro prosophis is below. Then you have the divine masculine above, and then you have the divine feminine, the mother, nurturer, below. You know, the two become one, the triad. You know how they say Father, Son, Holy Spirit? No, it's actually the Father, the Mother, and their creation. The Holy Spirit is within the all. The all, Akulum, means the all. But, oh yeah, let me finish reading it. It says, the powers of the upper and the below. Thus you will have the illumination of all the world, and darkness will disappear. This is the power of all strength. It overcomes that which is delicate and penetrates through solids. This was the means of the creation of the world, and in the future wonderful developments will be made, and this is the way. I am Hermes, the threefold sage, so named because I hold the three elements of all wisdom, and thus end the revelation of the work of the sun. See, everything goes back to the sun. Helios, light red, son of righteousness, you know, son of man. These Gnostic texts, look, I just finished this, and watch what it say. Y'all think it's a game when they're talking about the two becoming one? Just like it say in these books. See, if it say that in that culture book, and then it says the same thing in this book. Let me show you something. Hold on. It says, when you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, and the male not be male, and the male not be male, nor the female female. And when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in the place of a hand, and a foot in the place of a foot, and a likeness in the place of a likeness, then will you enter the kingdom. The kingdom come that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, why does it say what it just said in this book? Look at that. The Emerald Tablets of Hermes, or Thoth, whatever you want to call it. And then it says the same thing in these Gnostic texts. And then it tells you right in the Bible, seek ye first the kingdom, and all his righteousness will be given. What's the kingdom? But the kingdom is not something outside yourself. It tells you that too. It says people are looking for the kingdom outside themselves. Look what I just read. Look at this. Pay attention to details right here. Watch me cook. It says, and one who lives, for the living one will not see death. Whoever finds himself is superior to the world. Jesus said, woe to the flesh that depends on the soul, and woe to the soul that depends on the flesh, because you can't have one without the other. So if you do things in partiality and singularity or in division, it's not going to work. You will never tap into your power. You need the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain to work together in synchronicity. It says, when will the kingdom come? It will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, here it is and there it is. Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and men do not see it. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Y'all think I don't want to be in here cooking? I have to read 3 books at once. I cannot focus on just one book because I know that there's a pattern in the stuff that I'm reading. That's how you find all similarities, you find all synchronicities, you find all common denominators. Because guess what? Everything has become fragmented. It is not whole. In order to become holy, you have to have all parts. So if you say, oh, the Bible is the ultimate book, then you have a fragment. If you say the Quran is the ultimate book, then you have a fragment. You're not holy. If you say that, the Indians or the Buddhists, they have all the answers, then you're not holy. That is a fragment. But if you take them all and intertwine them all in one, you're going to find a pattern, similarity, and a synchronicity. That's why you can find the same thing in this book, in this culture, and say the same thing in this culture. Guess what? Somebody divided and conquered you, and you're not whole, and that's why you can't tap into your true power, because you're divided. You're divided in perception, thoughts, the way you think, the way you believe, the way you look at things, and guess what? Got you thinking something is different than the next, but everything is all one and the same. Polarities and dualities, they all one and the same, up and down, below and above. But just a difference in degrees, just like it says right here on the 7 Hermetic Principles. Principle of polarity, and it says, refers to the presence of 2 distinct opposite poles or tendencies, often involving the separation of the electric charge or the essence of opposing physical properties. People think they know something. They don't be knowing. Let me get dressed. I'm out of here.